Hello guys, welcome to another of our video tutorial, and today we'll be discussing about the while loop. Okay, so we said that the while loop are the kind of loop we use to execute multiple lines of code as long as a certain condition in the program remains true. Okay, so I'm going to go into the practical session so you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay guys, so this is the syntax. The syntax is just like the formula, more or less. Okay, so this is the formula, it goes, this is the while, then this is the condition. Okay, so when we hit the enter button right now, you will notice that it's already indented here. So this simply means that whatever we're going to be writing under here will be under the while loop. Okay, so those lines of code will be executed as long as this condition remains true. So once this condition becomes false, the interpreter will break out of this loop. Then the next line of code will be executed. The next line of code I'm talking about is not the one under the while loop, the one outside the while loop. Okay, so I'm going to give a few examples so you really understand what we're talking about. Alright. Okay, so we say first of all define a variable. We say I is equal to, let's say, 5. Okay, let's start with a smaller number. Say I is equal to 1. Alright, so we say while I is less than or equal to 5. Okay, print I. Okay, then increment I, it simply means to do I plus, okay, let's say I equal to I plus 1. Okay, but I've taught you this in one of our classes. To make it short, what you do is this. Okay, so this is equal to what I just wrote before, but this is the shorter form of it. Okay, so what this thing simply means is that if I is equal to 1, the conditional is while 1 is less than or equal to 5. Okay, sorry, not 1, rather I. Okay, so while I is less than or equal to 5, print I. Okay, so this here is called the I is going to be incremented as we print it along. So in the first iteration, I is equal to 1. When the condition will go back here and check is I, which is 1 here, less than 5, yes, I will be printed out. Okay, so the second iteration will have I to be 2 because 1 will be added to the initial 1. It becomes 2. So it will go back here again and verify is 2 less than 5, yes. So it will print the 2 out here. So this is how it will continue to happen. So long as this condition keeps being true, this loop will keep repeating itself until the loop is exhausted, until this condition becomes false. Okay, so when we run our program, we're going to see what I'm talking about. Okay, so you've noticed here that our I here, which is the initial one was printed out. When I was incremented to 2, 2 was printed out because 2 is less than 5, 3 is less than 5, 4 is less than 5, 5 is not less than 5, but 5 is equal to 5. Okay, so that was why 5 was printed out here. But when 5 was added to another one, which made it to be 6, and it went back here, 6 is not less than 5, and 6 is not equal to 5. And that made our code not to keep printing numbers anymore. Okay, so for us to really know that our code has finally jumped out of this loop, let's add something else here that will make us to know that. Okay, so we could write done. Okay, we write done here. Okay, so when this comes up, we know that our lines of code under the while loop has has finished executing. Okay, so we'll run the code again and we'll have it in a different way now. So it started with 1 as usual, then it ended with done. It simply means that after the execution of the codes under the while loop, loop terminated, and the next line of code, which in this case is the print statement, printed done. Okay, so that is how your line of code can also keep going and keep repeating itself so long as this condition remains true. Okay, so I'm also going to teach you something that is very unique. Should, in case you don't want to have your printouts printed on each line, as you can see here, each of these is printed on a new line. If you want it to be on a straight line, what you have to do is very simple. You come to this place, a comma here, and say and equal to open brackets, open quotation rather. So what this does is that it prints your lines, it prints your digits on the same line with spaces. Okay, so this right here will give it the opportunity to be spaced. The numbers will have 1, 2, 3 and all that. So when you run that, okay, exactly what I said about. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the same line. Okay, so this is how you go about doing that. Okay, so let's make this a bit more fun. Let's build a little pyramid with what we have here. Okay. Okay, so what we have done here is that we have set our asterisk to be a multiplying factor, meaning that the number of I that will be printed out while this condition remains true will be the number of times this asterisk will appear. Okay, so if I is 1, the asterisk will appear as 1. If I becomes 2, the asterisk will be printed in 2 places. Okay, so let's go about that again. Okay, so exactly what I just told you about. So this is how you do something like this. This is cool. I'm sure you can see that. This is half pyramid. Okay, I will still teach you one of the ways you can do a full pyramid in one of our classes. Okay, so I'm going to teach you another real life example about the while loop, and that one will be in form of a guessing game. Okay, I'm so excited that we're building a guessing game with you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead. Okay, so the guessing game is all about you guessing the right number. Once you're able to guess the right number, it means that you've won a jackpot. If you're not able to guess the right number, you'll have to try again next time. Okay. Okay, so first of all, I've been able to define our variables. Okay, so this is the secret number, that's the right number as 10. Then this is guess limit. This guess limit is the number of times the game will allow us to predict a number. Okay, so this is the guess score. Okay, so right now our guess score is 0 because we have not actually guessed. Okay, so we're going to give our condition. We'll say y guess underscore score is less than or equal to guess underscore limit. Okay, so right now we are going to guess our numbers. Okay, so we say guess equal to input. So we say guess a number. Okay, so we'll say please guess a number, and then we'll increment our guess score. Once we guess a number, we'll increment our guess score by 1. So we'll say guess the score. Score is the same thing as saying equal to guess underscore score plus 1. Okay, it's the same thing as saying, but if you want to make it to be in a shorter form, like I've always taught you, what you will do is to clean up this, then come over here and put your plus, and that is it. Okay, so we have been able to add 1 to this. So the next thing to do now is to give a condition. We'll say if guess equal to secret underscore number. Okay, so we'll have to print to print congratulations, you have won a jackpot. Okay, so the next thing to do is if the guessing number is actually not correct and the number of times that he has guessed has been exhausted, that he's supposed to guess has been exhausted, we want the system to write. Now you have to go down to where this condition started. This is why this is this, so that is where you also put your else. Then you can now print sorry, you failed. Okay, so if the person guesses the right numbers, you say congratulations, you won a jackpot. If the person failed after the 3rd attempt, you say sorry, you failed. Okay, alright, so let's run our program to see what happens. Okay, we're being asked to guess a number. Let's say 12. We're asked to guess another one, 43. We're asked to guess another one, 23. We're asked to guess another one, 12. Sorry, you failed. Okay, but if you notice, we discovered that we're asked to guess 4 times instead of the 3 times we have stipulated here. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to take away this equal to, so just limit it to less than. Okay, so long as it is less than, you just keep guessing. So even if it is equal to, you must have exhausted the number of times you're supposed to guess right. Okay, so let's run our program again and see what happens. Okay, so we say 12, there's a number 24, there's a number 56. Sorry, you failed. Okay, so it was actually the 3rd attempt now that we have made that made this sorry you failed to come out, and no longer the 4th attempt. Okay, so let's try to see if we can guess the right number this time around and see what happens. Okay, so let's make the first one to be 18. Then we guess right. Let's guess right now. Oh, I guessed right, but I was still told to still guess again. Let me still guess right, and oh, sorry, I failed. Okay, so let's go back to our program and see what happens. Okay guys, I think I have discovered the reason why even after guessing the right number we were still asked to guess again, and at the end of the day we were showed sorry you failed. That is because if you check like what I've taught you earlier, whatsoever number you're adding under the double or single quote is seen as a string. Okay, so this number we have actually imputed here is seen as a string rather than an integer. Okay, so for us to convert that number, what we're going to do is to affix int in front, then add the necessary brackets, then we'll go again. Okay, so let's run that again. There's a number, we guess 12, and then we guess the right one right now. Oh, you can see, congratulations, you've won a jackpot. Guess a number. You can see the question came up again that we should guess another number even after telling us congratulations. Okay, now what to do to solve that is to, first of all, after your congratulatory message, you use the break statement. Okay, so what this break does is that it breaks off whatsoever continuity that this loop has. So once the loop keeps going and it encounters this break statement, it cuts off. Okay, so that is what it does, and at this point we are still going to run our program again and see what happens. Okay, this gets a number, let's say 23, then oh, congratulations, you've won a jackpot. Okay, so as you know, in program, as you keep writing programs, you keep experimenting and know what works and what doesn't work, and try to make the necessary adjustment and the necessary corrections and the necessary debugging, which is the correct terminology. So in this case, we have been able to build a perfect game that will allow us to guess 3 times, and if we are able to get the correct number while guessing in those 3 time spaces, we'll be told that we have won a jackpot. But if we guessed out of the correct number in those 3 opportunities, we'll be told sorry, we failed. So we'll be able to get our correct code, and I'm sure you will enjoy this class. Alright, so see you in our next class, the for loop. Take care.